A very good day to you all. I am Claire and I am from Wiltshire, and this is one of my allotment videos. This is your first time seeing my videos, welcome. They're not always like this. I had a bit of an issue. I had my microphone on and for some reason when I got a phone call it cut my microphone off and I didn't realise. So I will be voiceovering this whole entire video. Lucky you. So what I decided I was going to do on this day up at the plot, it was a really cold day. It wasn't wet, it was just really, really cold. I needed to get the shed cleared out. Where everything gets put in there, nothing was put in the right place. There was cardboard everywhere. There was just stuff that didn't need to be in there. And I had stuff that did need to be in there. Most importantly, my new garden unit and kettle, because it's too cold to be at the plot without a cup of tea. And anyone who knows me knows I love my cups of tea. I have plenty, except in the summer. I don't tend to drink tea so much in the summer. I drink lots and lots and lots of water. So what I did, I had some broken pallets that I wasn't going to use. So I thought, rather than looking at all of this stuff everywhere, all over the plot, stepping over it, moving it from place to place, I'd store it behind the IBC tank. I have two IBC tanks. This is the one on the end in the corner next to the shed. So I placed all of the canes. It's surprising how many canes you manage to buy throughout the year. I'm hoping I don't have to buy any next year, especially after putting them all together, as you can see, and there is so many there. So I have a rule at the allotment. I have to have half a metre all the way around my plot where you are not allowed to store things. So I had to make sure that this was fully tucked up and hidden away, which I did. So that was all of the canes, all of the hoops, any long items that didn't need to be there that weren't tools, they all went up in behind the IBC tank. I could probably do with tying it on in case we get some strong winds, but as of yet they haven't fallen down. Walking down the path, I noticed lots and lots of weeds coming through the bark, which is not a good thing because that will then spread across onto the plot. My neighbour hasn't been looking after her pathways, and her pathways are full of mushrooms, perennial weeds, grass, amongst other things. So I like to keep on top of the weeding on the paths because of how quickly those seeds will spread into the beds. So this is definitely going to be a mum job, but it needs to be done sooner rather than later. I don't like just putting more chip-ins over the weeds because they just continue to grow under the chip-ins. As you can see, the shed was not a fun place to be with all sorts. I am, in all honesty, the worst person for throwing stuff into the shed because once I'm done, I'm done. I want to tidy up, put stuff into the shed, and I'm done. So I am the worst one for having it a mess, if I am honest. But with this weather being so bad, it's quite nice just to stand in the shed to take the chill off, or if it's pouring down, which it usually is, it's nice just to get under there so you're not getting absolutely drenched while you're there. I mean, look, there's things like cardboard and all that kind of stuff that could have gone into the compost that just got chucked into the shed. So that's what I did. So I will leave you here for a little bit to listen to a little bit of music, and I will do a little bit of a time lapse and things like that through the videos, and I will do a voiceover where needed, but I will let you crack on for a minute. point I had to deal with making friends with 2 spiders who were very active, wouldn't stop moving, probably because they were more scared of me than what I was of them. And it's a really good job my microphone didn't work, because I screamed like a little girl, swore lots, and didn't want to go back in the shed. So I contemplated my life for a little bit, whilst I figured out that if I used the hoe, I could still scoop everything out without having to get back into the shed. What didn't help was at one point, one of them moved to a place where I couldn't see it. Now, these spiders were bigger than any other spiders. And yes, I am very aware that they are not going to kill me. Very aware. And I'm okay if I can see them because I can work around them. But when they kept moving, that was not okay. That was not okay. And as you know, I don't like to wear gloves. So even if it did jump at me or jump on my hand, I should have been wearing gloves. It did quickly very much turn to, do I really need to tidy up the shed? Shall I wait for another day, or shall I try and get my mum to do it and not tell her that there are spiders in the shed? I did end up finish tidying it, all apart from one little corner. But that was because I ran out of time, because I needed to get other things done, not because I was terrified of 2 spiders in the shed. It was time to measure up for the decking. Now, I had 2 choices here. I either go for some really good quality decking at £65 a plank, or B&Q did an offer of like offcuts and things like that. So any with knots in it, or just not as good condition as the expensive ones. And that was a pack of 10 for £65. So I went for that. I figured we're just standing on it all day with muddy wellies or shoes. It's just somewhere to sit. We can paint it. It'll look nice. So that's what I went for. So I was measuring up to make sure that the length of the wood was the same as the decking area. Although I think I'm going to have to bring the decking area forward. I think it's only just half a metre at the back. So I would like it a little bit wider in case I want to add some wood around the framework of the actual decking itself. So yeah, so measuring up here so I can get started. It's the kind of job that I don't want to do in the summer, I don't want to do in the spring, but I want it done by spring. And I know wood isn't the best having it out in the colder months, but I really wanted to get this done, and it has been done, and it has been delivered at really quick delivery as well, which was fantastic. I've had a look at it, it looks okay. I've got black paint, which some people might think is oh my god, but the black actually looks really nice with all of the bark, and it will look really nice with like all the greenery and the colour of the allotment. It blends in better than you think it does, much better than green. I've got green in my garden and it stands out like a sore thumb. Here is a unit I was telling you about. It's actually a potting table with a metal shelf on the top. So I thought that would be a good idea because of having a stove on it with a kettle. Obviously it's a flame and it's going to get hot. So, well, I'm assuming it's going to get hot. I've never used a camping stove before, but I just thought it was probably a better idea, instead of having a complete wooden surface, to have that metal surface. It doesn't have a bit of metal. It doesn't have a bit of metal around the back. So I think if I got some left anywhere, I might cut a piece to fit around the back just to give it a little bit of a safer feel, or maybe just even put some metal slats along the back part of the shed where it will go. That way it just gives me peace of mind a little bit more, because although I would stand there watching the kettle boil, I'm so terrified of the shed catching fire and me creating damage to my property and someone else's property. Yeah, it brings such fear. So I think I'm going to try and make it a little bit safer. I've got some metal in my garden that I can use for that, but for now I will just be watching it. So I am currently making the potting table, which probably took me a good 20-25 minutes, while my mum was currently making the 2 raised beds, which probably took her an hour, maybe longer. It really shouldn't have took that long. However, we got stuff done this day. This day was building, organising and sorting. I think we were there for about 3.5 hours on this day getting all this stuff done. So I was totally gutted that there was no sound at all, because it was a really long day on the plot, and I probably had really interesting things to say that I really needed to tell you that I no longer can remember, because this was 10 days ago, so I can't remember what I was telling you when I was editing out this video. So I will let you crack on. So time to finish that corner that I didn't quite finish because of the spiders. I was very aware that I knew they were in here. I was trying really hard not to think about it and trying to get this done as quickly as possible. So that is what I did, just to make the space for the table. You can see I'm constantly looking for spiders. Oh, look, I get the hoe out again because I'm terrified of the spiders. So that is my gas bottles there, which were chucked in the corner. That wasn't me. So yeah, so getting this done was an absolute pain in the bum, because I'd already, as you'd seen, done it, but stuff went back in and fell off of the plastic unit that's there and went all down the side. My nice shiny new unit. I couldn't wait to get this in, to be honest, because I really did need a cuppa at this point. I was so cold, and when you are building without gloves on in this cold weather, it is really not good for your hands, especially when your hands have got arthritis in them. It's really, really not good. I do need to invest in a pair of gloves. I'd like something like, so it's fluffy and warm on the inside, but really stretchy and easy to make a fist and move your hands around. Waterproof if possible, but not really necessary. I just want to be able to do the gardening, do any building bits with a pair of gloves on that are going to keep my hands warm but not stupid hot warm, because there's nothing worse than having burning hot hands. And just not worry about my hands, because when I get home from the allotment, my hands take hours to warm up, and I have problems holding a cup and things like that once I've been to the allotment in the cold. So I do need to invest in some. So if anyone knows any gloves that are really good, that are exactly how I've described, because I need a pair, so please put a link, or let me know if you have a pair that is really good, because most of the ones I found that are thermal are like motorbike gloves, really hard and tough, and you can't make a fist. This is me in an hour and about putting the gas bottle in. Now, I did exactly what it told me to do on the instructions, no matter how many times I read the instructions. But because it's fire, I just completely doubted myself. I did not put faith in myself at all, and I wimped out. So I did not get a cup of tea. I was disappointed I didn't get a cup of tea, but I proper wimped out. And there was no one else on the site this day for me to say to them, look, is this actually the way it's supposed to be? So yeah, so I completely wimped out on that one until the next time I was down.
Perfect night tonight. It's now or never. Come on, let's light up the sky. Now we're together. Come on, let's light up the sky. Just you and I.
So I didn't realise until I started editing the video, but there was an actual van fire in the background, as you can see. It started off with a little bit of smoke, but the thick black smoke got worse and worse. But yeah, it was a van probably 5 minutes down the road, and it had engulfed in flames, and that is what all that smoke was in the background. It was not a bonfire or anything like that. It was a van fire. So I thought I'd put that in for you. I didn't edit it out. I thought a little bit of excitement, rather than looking at my head or me digging, because that's all I seem to do at the moment is dig and shovel and dig and shovel. So I thought I'd leave that one in there for you. So just for anyone who doesn't know what I'm doing, I watch Gerald Stratford quite a lot, and he puts quite a few poles into areas in his garden to put water in, to get the water down nice and deep for his plants. So I have adopted the same kind of thought process here. Fruit bushes and stuff like that, the roots will go down anyway, but I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to spend another year trying to get these blooming bushes and things like that watered. They were drying out constantly, and we spent more time watering than anything else because a lot of it was new. So I put a few of the metal pipes in, holes both ends, quite far down into the ground. And when it comes to watering season next year, I will put a bottle, half a bottle, a litre bottle probably, cut it in half, tape it to that post to make watering a lot easier. Yes, I'm quite capable of putting a spout of a watering can into that hole, but I don't want to waste any water. So it's a lot easier to pop a bottle on the top of the post and water into that. That way the water's running straight down, really down far into the ground, and that is going to encourage the roots to grow down and not come to the surface for water if we have a really hot summer again. So that is what I'm doing. I'm going to try and do it in as many areas as I possibly can, just to reduce the amount of watering that needs doing. I know my strawberries in the fruit cage will still need a really good water, but at least the fruit trees and some of the other raised beds won't need that to be done. So just clearing the way for the rest of the bushes. I finally brought the ones from home in my greenhouse up to the plot to get into the ground. I wanted them to be in the ground, well established over the winter period and early spring, purely so their roots go down and grab the water. So I'm kind of just helping them along a little bit. They'll become established over that period, even though they're dormant. And one thing less to do for 2026, right?
Wind is blowing through our hair, the lights are shining everywhere. From up above and down below, we fall into the afterglow. So now, this is the perfect night tonight.
Thank you very much for watching this fun-filled, exciting, entertainment-filled video. I do appreciate it, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's free. There's nothing free in life anymore, so hit that button. It's free. Feel the achievement.